topic of discussion today is vitamin D. Hi, Candace Herron, nurse practitioner from Hometown Primary Care in Choctaw, Oklahoma here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about something I really did not know before the last year of practice. And whether that means that I hadn't ever heard it or that I had forgotten it is somewhat of a mystery to me. But I did not know prior to this last year that vitamin D is not actually a vitamin. It is actually a prehormone. With that said, it helps all of your other hormones work. So this is why it is such an important lab value that we check on all of our cash patients and as many of our insurance patients as we can possibly get their insurance to cover. So with that, I would like to address a few things. So the American Heart Association released in 2025 that you are 52% less likely to have a heart attack if you have a greater than 40 on your vitamin D level. Now, vitamin D is only gotten from milk or the sun. That's it. Our diets do not give us any real amount of vitamin D. That is why rickets became a thing. As well, we are not able to test your vitamin D and insurance cover that unless you have a history of a low vitamin D. So you actually have to have a diagnosis of low vitamin D for the most part for that to be a covered test that we can do. We can put fatigue, we can put hair loss, we can say low motivation, we can say all kinds of things. They won't cover it. And it's like a $200 test through your insurance if they don't cover it. So at our clinic, we can check it for a very discounted rate if you are part of one of our memberships, or we can check it for you and we can hope your insurance covers it if you are one of our insurance-based patients. But if you have a history of low vitamin D, you're probably always going to have that, and you probably should always be on some sort of supplementation. Now, where this gets a little weird is you also don't want your vitamin D to be too high. Now, that's why we check the level before we give this, because it is a fat-soluble substance rather than a water-soluble vitamin like vitamin B12. So with that said, it does help all of your hormones. That's insulin, that is estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, that is also thyroid. So if you are low on vitamin D, nothing else is really working correctly because it helps all of that. Vitamin D is also turned into cholesterol. That's a whole nother can of worms. But that is why vitamin D in my clinic is so very important. And that is why we do test people very regularly. And it is part of my standard testing unless someone is objective to it. And then that's probably because you have had to pay for it when your insurance didn't cover it. But that being said, it's not that it's not an important lab. It also helps against dementia. It helps against all other mortality. And so it is very important to have it checked. And this is why it's so frustrating that, you guys guessed it, I'm going to complain about insurance here. That's why it's so frustrating that they will not allow us to test for it and then pay for it, because it's a pretty inexpensive test, but you're being charged hundreds of dollars for it through your insurance. If you'd like more information, please give us a call at 405-591-3584 or visit us online at www.appt.com. www.thehometownprimarycare.com. Thank you. Have a great day.